All right. So this is a walkthrough of guidance written with parents' help and students' help, guidance on AP and curriculum written from our point of view. This is linked to the MPPFA webpage. The link is here under current resources, AP's curriculum. We've linked the school resources on the course selection, the number and type of dual enrollment courses, and other FAQs that came in directly from the school. And these two, slide summary as well as this document, is written by MPPFA. So this is that document. If you click on the link from here on AP and dual enrollment, you can go under the MPPFA resources. If you click on this document, it will take you to this page. So this is our take on this, and some disclaimer is that the answers, this reflects our opinion. The resources and what it takes may vary from student to student, and always check this current school resources for any latest updates on AP and registration, right? So just wanted to give that disclaimer that this is our opinion. So with that, yeah, there is this index. First of all, what's the difference between an AP course and an AP exam? Smitha, do you want to?
Yeah, so just for this, I mean, this came about because a lot of parents are confused about,
Mhm,
taking the course versus taking the exam.
mhm.
So everybody is allowed to take the exam as long as they're eligible for it, and the school's offering for the students. And then there are kids who decide they want to give the exam or no. They do get credit for college, depending on whichever school they go, based on their scores for the AP tests. And it's totally dependent on individual students as to what they're going to take or whether they're going to take it. So it's not, there is no one particular pattern that everybody needs to follow in this.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know the difference between the course and the exam, so that itself, it took me a while to even get to that. Again, why take AP courses, and
Um,
does it help with college admissions?
it does, and it that's why it is important that kids take what they can handle,
Mhm.
because it does show rigor. It does show that the kids are ready for college, but it's all again very dependent on what your child can handle. People should not be rushing to take 500 APs because their friend and their friend's friend is saying that. I think when we were having the conversation about coming up with a document like this, it is usually I've seen this happen during when kids are signing up for following year courses. The parents are confused about what should be taken or not. So it does give you credit, but it is very college dependent. There is no exact science that you're going to get credit for every single AP you take. It's very dependent on the college. But a lot of the times kids do get credit and are able to graduate early, skip some of the general ed courses a lot of times, saves money. So those are some of the reasons why people want to take the AP courses.
All right, yeah. So because you said college credit, right? So let's talk about, I think you give a couple of examples here. I'll switch over to what college credit means before we talk about the independent APs. Um, yeah, I think you
So
talk
if you
about.
if you go into your presentation, I think it might be easier for
Okay, let's do
yeah
that. Yeah.
for you to
Yeah,
follow.
that's a summary of this whole
Yeah.
document, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Yeah. So the AI generated presentation is
Yeah, it's really
summary of
pretty
this.
good for
Okay.
when parents are trying to figure out what to do. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. Um,
Okay. So that's what's an AP, the value prop, workload, what are the APs offered in mission? Um,
Again, it's important for parents to know that you don't have to take every single AP that's offered. It's only what your child can handle. Mission doesn't offer AP courses for ninth graders, 10th graders. They allow, I
mhm.
think, world history. So every time, usually parents should reach out to the counselors to see to clarify what their student can take or not take. This is just a guidance as to
Yeah.
a parent perspective on what has worked for some of us.
All right. So yeah, so this was the example, right? What does
Yeah.
it mean that when a college gives credit for a particular AP, right? And can you cover
Yeah.
this?
So, for example, there might be certain schools, like this was just two examples that I used. if you get credit if you get a score of 4 to 5 for most of the colleges. For UC, sometimes they give you a credit for something that is you score a 3. In this case, Stanford doesn't give any credit for anything below 3. And then there's a max on the number of credits you can get for AP. So they're not, the colleges are in the business of, they're in the business of education. They're not, they would prefer that you take the course there and get money. So they're not going to give you credit for every single thing that you take. So you can't, you can't assume that you'll get credit for every course, every AP course that you took. So you have to check with individual schools as to what they will take. Again, it could also be major dependent because a lot of times they may want you to take certain major uh, core courses in the school itself. So you have to make clarify with the individual schools. So there's just because you got a 4 or a 5 does not mean you're going to get credit for that subject.
Yeah, and that link to the AP credit is also linked in that particular
In the
document. So
document.
if I click that, for instance, Purdue is a very popular college that many of our kids go to. If for instance, you're taking a particular major in Purdue, say you're taking data science and you want to see what kind of APs get credit. So I've put Purdue there, and in this case, if your child say scores a 3 on in AP Calculus BC, then they get credit for this particular MA course. I don't know what, I think it's a
Yeah,
mathematics.
that's probably the course
The
numbers.
course ID. Okay.
Yeah. So, but then again, it may be that they may give credit for Calc BC, or depending on the school.
Hmm.
This is just telling you what credit, how much credit they would give, and if it's a requirement for whatever major you're doing. But
Hmm.
there might be some majors that you may not get credit for the same AP. I've been in this journey for some time because my older one passed out 2017, and I've
Hmm.
seen the trajectory of some of the kids that went with her. There were kids who took APs in high school,
Hmm.
went to one college, had to retake, say, Calc BC,
Hmm.
transferred after the second year to a private school, had to take calculus again.
Hmm.
So there is no guarantee that you're going to be skipping anything.
Hmm.
So you have to make sure, ultimately, you have to make sure that it's what the child can handle. But it does give them an advantage because the pool of applicants may be taking that when they're applying to college.
All right. Yeah, so the link to, which college gives which credit
Yeah,
to which course, and depending upon the scores, that's linked in this document. So let's go and touch a little bit upon the independent APs and what that means. Uh, let's spend a few minutes on that. Where was independent?
it can go. I think it's a little, yeah,
Yeah, so the independent APs is about this, right? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
self-study versus external. Yeah,
mhm.
let's talk a little bit about self-study APs.
Yeah, so one of the things that happens is in Mission, for example, we have certain number of APs because a lot of kids don't get to take APs in ninth grade or cannot take more than one in 10th grade. We do have a community that is highly motivated, so people want to go and find other ways to take AP classes outside of school. There are two options. You can either do a self-study or you can do external courses. We have put some options that people in the community have used. We're not, recommending one or the other,
Mhm.
just making sure that people know where to look when they look through our documents.
Yeah. So again, this is not an endorsement from any of us. Please do your due diligence if and whether your child is ready for an independent study and if they can take that course load. This is just a guidance, where if you would like to consider self-study or an external course.
Mhm.
Um, and we've given some links to some of the independent external virtual high schools that actually have courses for some of these.
And then one of the questions that keeps coming up is whether, usually on the WhatsApp groups, like my kid wants to do the AP on their own, but wants to take the test in the school.
Hmm.
Only going to be dependent on whether the school has space for them, usually, I think.
Yeah.
And because the priority is given to the kids taking the course with
Hmm.
the school. So parents need to be aware of that too.
Yeah. So some resources are linked here, and then I think let's the popular ones, right? Yeah, these are the again the school sends out the AP sign up during the fall
Mm-hmm.
for the examinations that happen in May of the following year. So for May 2026, the sign-ups already completed in fall of last year. And based on that, we know what are the popular APs as of 2025-26, depending upon the number of periods that the course is offered. Stats, world history, these are popular ones. Some of the other STEM APs are very popular. Computer science A is popular. And then some of the other APs are like 1 to 3 periods. We have the different calculus, US history, and so on. The independent study is the children, they write the exams in school for AP micro and macro, but there is no course offered at Mission San Jose at this time. I believe the administration is constantly adding new courses as several different APs are popular, and some things that are coming up that Ms. Perez announced sometime back was that AP government and policy politics is coming up next year. And then the announcement went out that AP English language is going to be offered to 11th grade instead of the English honors, which was not an AP exam but a weighted honors course. Right? So next year, AP English language is something new that's coming up. So these offerings keep changing all the time. So always look for your course registration that comes out in the fall from the school, and that way you can enroll in the right ones. And this is our take on what the commonly challenging APs are. Lena and Alina, are you here? Do you want to add anything from your perspective, the student's perspective?
I don't know. I think like my own experience with APs is that when I just took AP Japanese last year, but that was outside of FQSD, so I don't know how relevant my experiences are. But it was like my native language, so
Mhm.
that is an
Did you
AP.
do a course and the examination for that?
No, this was I did not take a course. It was
Just the
I don't know.
exam.
Yeah, just exam. And this year
Okay.
I'm taking AP World, but that's a school curriculum and the course is already offered. And I'm
Mhm.
still studying macro and macro.
Mhm.
But I'm like utilizing textbooks. I'm like watching AP daily videos on College Board. So those
Mhm.
are some resources that I'm utilizing.
Okay. Thanks, Lena. I know you're highly motivated and um, yeah, highly self-disciplined. Like that's our guidance on going for self-study.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Alina, any inputs you have as a senior?
So I have done a bunch of AP courses. I do agree with everything that you guys said. I think that as just take as many as like you can handle as like a student because it does get, especially in junior year, I know a lot of people who start piling on APs and then they start like spiraling downwards. So I think it's important to just take the ones that you like, first of all,
Mhm.
and ones that you know that you can handle because you can always take some of these in college as well.
Definitely. Yeah. Um, so that's that. We give you some guidance on some of the exam centers and the outside coursework. And then, yes, another question that keeps coming up is, does your outside AP, does it appear on the Mission San Jose school transcript? The answer is no. The self-study exams or the AP courses taken outside do not appear in your school transcript. But that said, when you're applying to college, you can say other high school, and then you add your other private institutes transcript when applying to colleges. So that's fine. It doesn't add up to your school GPA, but it definitely helps when you're applying to college. Um, Smitha, anything else?
Yeah, so just scroll slightly up. So,
Okay.
parents always ask about whether they can improve their GPA on the school
Mhm.
transcript, and that does not go in there.
Yeah.
But when the college you're applying to is calculating your GPA, a lot of times that you probably have a boost up in your GPA because you took some of those courses outside. So that's one of the reasons I think people drive to um, go towards more APs. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Okay.
And then this is another question that we always get about satisfying A to G requirements and people wanting to take those courses outside. So that was another one that we put up, where you can take certain courses outside, but be careful that it is eligible for to satisfy that. So you have to do your homework on that. You can go to the UC A to G course list, just look at what transfers, reach out to your counselors. They know better. They can guide you accordingly.
All right, so that was on college placement, independent APs, credit policies. We saw the
Mhm.
link where you can actually check the college that you're going to and the course credit that it gives you. Yeah, and then, oh yes, some students do skip the exams.
Yeah.
So why does that happen?
um, they're not planning to go in that direction. I mean, based on my personal experience, I remember my daughter didn't give a specific one AP exam because she's like, I'm not going to be using that for my major. And it's senior
Mm,
year. They already know where they were going. So some of the kids decide they're not giving the AP, it's not going to get them the credit. They don't want to stress out. There are a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's just because you
mm,
started off taking it and then you're not sure whether you're going to get a four. Because when you
mm,
send your scores, you're sending everything. Uh,
mm.
so sometimes that's a reason that sometimes people skip. Um,
Got it. Probably happens a lot more in senior year, right? Okay. But yes, you will lose the fee. There is an exam fee,
yeah.
which you pay around in the fall.
Yeah, they don't sign up for the AP exam.
Okay. No, but
So
if you signed up in fall and then you decide not to take it.
yeah, so I'm sure there are kids who take AP courses
Mm,
but don't sign up for the exam.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, so they already know I want the rigor of the course just because
Mm,
I want to learn that, but I'm not going to stress myself with the AP exam.
got it. All right. So that's that. And then other more like philosophical questions. How many APs should
How
I
many
take?
AP should I take? It's like, like I mentioned, the example of one of my daughter's friends and how she had to take it 3 times. So there is no magic number. Um, it's ultimately what your child can handle,
Mm-hmm,
and let them be the driver for that decision because you don't want to burn them out
mm-hmm.
before they go to college. There's life left after that.
Yes. And you can always study calculus. You can always do that in college, right?
Yeah, I remember my daughter she was a 2017 graduate and she was too stressed out about taking calc because apparently it was the same teacher who she did not want to take it with, who was in 11th grade. So she was like, I'm not going to take calc. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Then you have to deal with whatever, wherever you go, you take it in college. She took it in college and she was fine. She turned out fine. So it's just you have to make sure as parents that we let our students drive that so that
Yeah.
they can handle it better.
Yeah. So listen to your students, right? Not
Yes, listen to
force
your
them.
child.
Yes.
Sometimes they say things without saying things.
Correct. Yeah. So they know their workload.
Yeah.
Make sure they're not stressed out with this. And then multivariable calculus is not exactly an AP, but it's after Calc BC, and and it's prerequisite, right? So it is a very high level
Right.
course, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have
High
any.
level of math
Yeah.
courses. They do end up getting some credits in some of the schools.
Okay. So though there is no exam for AP
Yeah.
exam, they do get a course credit,
They may get gross credit or they may
depending.
be able to, yeah, they have to show there might be some placement tests or
Mm.
something that they would end up doing.
All right. Yeah, so if you take an AP exam outside in an outside center, you have to talk to your counselor and your teacher first and inform the school office to make sure it's an excused absence, right? That's that. And then some guidance on should you self-study, should you take an external course, and so on. I think that's about it. All the links are here in this page on APs. I know we didn't talk about dual enrollment.
Like in short, if we say it would give you college credit as well as high school credit. A lot of times you can go look at
Mhm,
assist.org, and then you can see a lot of what college credits transfer, dual enrollment courses transfer to the UCs.
mhm,
So we have a good number of them in our school
mhm,
um, that kids can take, but some of them have prerequisites. So, and there would be work accordingly. So they may or may not transfer to other colleges, private colleges,
Mhm.
because the UC system um, has a agreement with the community colleges, right? So those are easier to transfer to the UC system if you're taking a community course here. May or may not get credit when you go to a private school. So it
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
So I've heard that dual enrollment is definitely better when it comes to UCs,
Yes.
even better than an AP
Yeah.
course.
Because they have to transfer it.
Yeah. So they transfer the Oloni
Yeah.
course, which is
Mhm.
offered at MSJ, into the UC that your child is
But
going.
then there's another caveat to it, but there might be some major dependent courses that they want you to take at the particular school. So you can't take it at a community college. So it depends again on the major.
Thank you. Thanks to our student reps and Smitha, our parent volunteer who helped us write this guidance. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.